Yep. Life lessons, mic sessions, it's all relevant and relative for the blessings. We used to walk with Smith and Wessons, so I'm guessing this time I let you put the blame on me. But if I let you fool me twice, then it's shame on me. Ain't no stressing, back to the essence. I love the sun rays, so let it rain on me. From a little young G, still in the same army. And ain't no tight jeans dressing. Just in case we have to talk that weapon in the midst of danger, we move calmly. Sutta tire, Kundalini fire, you couldn't harm me. And when my boy got tested, never cried to mommy. Now I'm living right in Fessy, used to live by palm trees. All this money, time invested, never dawned on me that I was in the wrong profession, the price was costly. And what it cost me, 10 lifetimes of stress, trying to get these demons off me. Fun to leave on my chest, have me constantly cough G. That's the only release I get, these deaths just time me. Pretend they want me, but really trying to suck my life source like a piece of toffee. Gretzky, Messi, curry and coffee. I took a night course in guilty crime posse. Slap shot is what they both taught me. Grand Pure, first more I seen play hockey. Put that pedal to the floor, nothing could stop me. Grew up in the era where no carbon copies existed. You weren't there, sorry you missed it. Coolest in the city, never acted cocky. We was fresh to death, never looking sloppy. Some half step lost the way, but not me. No apologies if you got offended. Over the years, all we did was defend it. Lost a few peers, what the universe intended. Watch your friends that you keep, beauty always want me. Damn, it's too bad you didn't want to stick it out. But now you're catching vapors cause you miss what I'm about. See, I gave you everything, wisdom, knowledge, overstanding. You were my closest companion, but now you left me stranded. But I'm still standing and able to manage cause my heart's not easily damaged. And I ain't watching nothing, I can't dwell on the past. Cause Jock comes first and everything else comes last. And you were caught up in material, chasing things fast. Two different individuals, learning about each other. Two separate point of views, one of them closer to the father. Continual contention said, why'd I even bother? And you never said sorry. Never said sorry to me. Never said sorry. No apology. Left me standing on my own. But I'm a prince, a king, a god, sitting on my throne, and nothing can stop me. You're never gonna flop me. Ooh. To be or not to be. Now when I was struggling, day out and day in, bleaching and juggling things, you made it your duty to try to make my ears ring. Even though I knew things I do consider sin, still I was trying to make the best of the situation I was in. So now I'm starting to progress, taking forward steps. Now you're starting to regret, saying you never should have left. And I'm one with a lot, and I work, she is blessed. Said none could be the same, cause Jay was the best. She will always sustain when times was really death. Say you miss my flex, and you love my style. My ghetto you profile, and the McCletchy smile. You never said sorry. Never said sorry to me. Never said sorry. No apology. Left me standing on my own. But I'm a prince, a king, a god, sitting on my throne. Stop me. You're never gonna flop me. Ooh. To be or not to be. Now uplifting each other. The times we felt weak and the closest we shared didn't even need to speak, and there was nothing to fear, cause I was gentle and meek. But now I see things clear. You loved the luxury, you only pretended you cared, and that it was all about me, cause you felt protected here. Thought you had security. True, I had a little money and I lived comfortably, and you seen that I was hungry to overcome society. But the way I was living was insanity. For the things I was given wasn't meant for vanity. It was a gift from Allah, cause I was trying righteously, and she searched out my heart and see my sincerity. Saw I was doing my part and that I love humanity. But you were stuck on your ways, too much lust and envy, digging your own grave for infatuation and greed. And I gave you everything that I thought you would need, ready to make you my queen and plant a little seed. But when I brought the proposition, you weren't ready yet to breathe. And I started to notice you're running way too much weed, gossiping with your friends, and no more scriptures do you read. And the things they defend aren't based on reality. Caught up in illusions, lost in fantasy. So I had to draw the conclusion that it wasn't meant to be. When you see my demeanors drastically, you had some different intentions that didn't involve me, but it was good for a while. I should have had the perception to see through the guile. Your plastic smiles, yeah. You never said sorry, never said sorry to me, never said sorry, no apology. Left me standing on my own, but I'm a prince, a king, a god, sitting on my throne, and nothing can stop me. You're never gonna fly me. Ooh, oh, 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 to be or not to be. So Stang, turn my phones up a bit. Ain't nothing changed, it's the same. You still skylarking, most got stepdaddy like Harden.
Hey, Tarka. Well, you battle this song if you want to battle something. Put any of your songs up to this song. Since you're talking crazy. Any one of your songs. Anyone.
So Stang, turn my phones up a bit. Ain't nothing changed, it's the same. You still skylarking, most got stepdaddies like Harden. They hardened, fixed in their ways, they too hardened. Some got convictions, even if they apply. They the victims, ain't getting no pardon. Almanac is in the pen, middle finger to the warden. Free your mind, even though your body barred in. This war that I'm starting, might not want to pardon. Desperado, desperado, on my own. Rolling Bravo, rolling Bravo. If you're scared, stay far then. I'm prepared, ain't handing my card in. What they wanna call black is soot. Burnish bronze on the foot, charred in. Hydrogen molecule with the carbon. If you dare take a walk through the garden, center stage for the role that I'm starting. I'm more in Black Knight like Martin. Soar, take flight like a Martian. I'm Thor, gladiator, Spartan. Still polite, a gentleman, charming. Presence like the Red Sea when it's parting. Kundalini energy when I'm charging. Like power and the force of a car wind. You know the type when you gotta keep your arm in. Why fight when you know say you're not win? Never ever could compare.
Why fight? Don't fight it.
From day one till day done, I'm here. I never fear.
Don't fight it.
Never ever could compare. Let's make it clear.
Dirty wars. Don't fight it.
From year to year, I stay prepared. Top ranking, top charting. We occupy the skids, crates, and the cartons. The highest grade of the strain that I'm sparking. Up late nights, Johnny Carson. Early mornings, remember starving, engraved in my mind. Carved in the running in the past. No harping, don't be afraid or alarmed by the barking. Keep it close by a very thin margin. Shadow box with a little bit of sparring. Cage fights when you fence, then you're barbed in. No cavalry, desperado charging. You never ever could compare. Let's make it clear. From day one till day done, I'm here. I never fear. You never ever could compare. Let's make it clear. Been running this from year to year. I stay prepared. Clean up your heart, I'm cool. Cleansing the fire, don't burn. That's what keep up the pace, don't run. Empty out when it's out of the gun. Clean up your heart, I'm cool. Cleansing the fire, don't burn. Keep up the pace, don't run. Empty out when it's out of the gun.
Islam Moors. You can't go wrong with hip hop by Moors who are active Moors, because it's still life. It's still life, regardless of what. Now, a Moor, put it like this. A Moor put it like this. Would you rather know who you are and be for your people, or know who you are and be against your people? There's a Moor. You put it on the record, in the spirit of Anonymous. That was the intro music. That was the intro music. Anonymous. You can send your donation for your CD. 15 notes, 13 tracks. culturaleducators@gmail.com. culturaleducators@gmail.com. PayPal your 15 notes with your mailing location so we could send you your CD in the spirit of. Don't front, because you already know. There's a lot more.
Islam.
Yeah, I was just checking to see if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
They should charge 40 for the CD.
Yeah,
that's crazy right there.
Yeah, super crazy. And don't forget the Wow album. Get the Wow album. And that's 20 notes. And we can email you the folder. culturaleducators@gmail.com. You know, you give and you get. You get, so you got to give. So that's why we do what we do. Because, you know, we take a certain stance when it comes to certain things relative to Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Divine National Movement and our nationality, our birthrights and stuff like that. And the stance that we take is that you are your own priest. So if priests thinks that they can go out there and do whatever they think that they could do, that's on them going out there to do that. The wise, instead of going out and just doing stuff, they would seek counsel. And not just seek counsel because one individual, because, you know, this individual has a name and everybody says his name. So, well, once I talk to him, then he says yes, then that means I'm going to go ahead and do whatever it is I'm doing. Oh, no. No. Seek counsel means go to different people. So to put out there that it's the teacher's fault that the student crashed the car, you know, and I haven't seen this student in 20 years. Last time I seen him, he was a teenager. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Are you going to blame me? And they're going to blame teachers that students do dumb stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And it's not on the teacher to stop people from being educated. Because, you know, educate to take out. So it means whatever you have inside you is what is going to prove that you're educated. And many people look at this Moorish nationality and think that it's a way to get out of something or it's a way to gain something. And we've been putting it on the record. Go check our 1700 videos. Go check our 1700 videos where we haven't changed tune. Been the same. We're not begging anybody for anything. We're gonna do what, you know, was laid down by the prophet. Everybody says that they follow the prophet and all that stuff. But then when you read things that the prophet left for Moors, you realize that based on certain people's actions, they're clearly not with the prophet because they're going against the stuff. So, Kavit Mtor, Moors are men, upright, independent, and fearless, who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is neither uncertain or unknown. So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you go out there and try to claim a house. It doesn't matter if you sit in the temple and play church with this. The destiny, which is neither uncertain or unknown. So you already know where you're going to end up. You already know what the outcome is going to be. And everybody hates on the people who play it smart. Everybody hates on the people who think. That's how you know who the non-thinkers are. Because the brainwash mantra of social media have these people locked in, and they want you locked in with them into this illusion. When the reality is that you already know where you're going if you say that you're down with this. There's no other way to go. There's only one direction. Upright, independent, and fearless. Independent implies we don't need these Europeans for anything. We don't need their city council. We don't need their city whatever. We don't need their state whatever. If they look like the Moors in Virginia and they recognize, not us running to them, right? Not us running to them to get something, but them saying, hey, you guys over there, you call yourself Moors? Okay, we're going to recognize you. independent. Those Moors are Moorish Science Temple. And again, we're put on the record, the humanitarian activity that those Moors do is hated on by heads of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Hated on. Hated on this Moor because he saw something that Moors could have. This is not something that we're forcing or you have to whatever, or this is your birthright. You do with this what you will. You better be living by the principles and all that stuff. You better have a Zodiac Constitution, know that, you know, you do any criminality, don't think that this is going to protect you. But that's just what it is. That's just what it is. That if you say criminality, then Moorish nationality, whatever, does not apply to you in your criminality dealings, which includes selling packages and selling people's birthrights and telling lies to try to get views. By saying you're Moors, but you're going to National Black Men's Convention and you're Moors, and then you're justifying these people calling themselves black. These are Moors of Moorish Science Temple of America. They're going to tell you Act 6 and all that. We're not Negro, black, colored and all that stuff, but they're going to a black man's convention as Moors. You think these people not selling you out? How are they Moorish Science Temple of America? Go read Act 6, pull it up right now on your computer or whatever. And they're supposed to be pushing that they're not Negro, black, colored. But they're openly telling people that as Moors, we're going to represent the Moors because this black man thing that we're going to is in the perspective of what our people mean when they say black man, because talking just like how they talk. The same people that we're supposed to be out here saving, bringing them into birthrights. And then the head of that is going to be saying that I love Noble Drew Ali, I'm a Moor, but you're having a black man's convention? And then say what? That when everybody goes in there, then it's going to say Moorish? That's no different than hidden colors. Put a Moor head on there, have people think that they're learning about their birthrights, and then they go watch that, get brainwashed. Social media mantra, got them. Thought they could learn from some DVD. You don't learn from no DVD. What police accountability are you talking about? What police? What you talking about? Police accountability? Who the hell's police? Who is that? Because police accountability would imply that you think that they're going to stop killing black guys. Police accountability implies that you have some serious cognitive dissonance if you think that you're going to meet with some other black guys and as black guys, you're going to hold police accountable for BS that they do to black guys. How come we never heard about the National Yellow Man's Convention? Anybody? Anybody in the chat? Have you ever heard of the National Yellow Man's Convention? And if a black man is in a dead status, civil little more too, so how could he be a national anything? There's a national black anything. What nation is black? What's that? But they have to play the game for the people who they're going to get the permit from to go rent Washington, D.C., which used to be a slave auction block. You think these people not selling you out into slavery? And remember, slavery's not ball and chains, and you're going to be down there and they're going to be looking in your mouth and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, we got the slaves down here now because they came to the 100 million man, whatever. No, keeping your mind enslaved. That they're going to stoop so low as to acknowledge the existence. These are Moors now, right? Moors who have supreme authority. That whatever they say, whatever Moors put in the ethers, then that's what's going to manifest. Ask Noble Drew Ali. These Moors are taking the position of telling Moors, come on, Moors, support this black man's whatever as Moors. Remember, the head guy says he's a Moor and he loves Noble Drew Ali and all that stuff, but it's the black man stuff. And then they're going to take people to the so-called capital where so-called slaves were in pens and cells in the same mall that these people are going to go to or whatever like that. And they're waiting there either to be relocated somewhere or to get sold. And they're telling you come down there for us to do something for the liberation of ourselves. You people are your goddamn mind. And no wonder we're in the conditions that we're in, because our people still chasing after these black leaders. Haven't woke up yet that it's about human rights. That's why Moors say nationality. But then now you have this thing, well, you know, so they go to this thing, and then now black people are looking at them like, oh, the Moors are here. And then the black people rush over, and then those aren't the Moors that they should be really dealing with, because those Moors are SPLC puppets. Those Moors are Moors who we know they can say whatever the hell that they want. We already got the lesson that we don't open our ear to slander. We already told you that when we do these stuff, it's not a rebuttal to their stuff. We know the people, the dummies, like the verses. So we'll play the versus game. And trust me, every week, voicemail's full. Why? Why is voicemail full? Because people think that this is BS? No, because they went and checked for themselves that this is what it is. And finally, after all this studying and being Moors, finally they found a temple that they could be part of, because they know Noble Drew Ali said be part of the temple. But when they go to the temple, half these people are trying to own them. And Drew Ali warned these dirty Moors that new Moors are going to come with their eyes wide open, seeing and knowing. What are you trying? We pulling wool over who? You worry about Cujo or whatever? You better worry about Moors who's coming up behind me. Don't worry about me. I'm nobody compared to who's coming up behind me. Trust that. Trust me, like, I'm 42. Anybody I build with is my age or older. Anybody else is coming up behind me. We already know what's up. It's like being on here, the Moors. This is just building. This is what we do, Islam to Brother Wasim, because you already know. It is what it is. It's not some going books and whatever like that and that's studying. I ain't studying. Studying is Moors' order of the round table. Moors putting their minds together. Got the electricity going from pineal gland to pineal gland in the room. Just like we were talking about earlier, that the Moors at his job. He's at his job. He's reading a book about Moorish history. And the Moorish history book is telling him about a Moor that worked on his job that he works. You don't want to be part of this? You want to be part of some other stuff these guys over here talking about, you know what I mean? Sister Raz doesn't have Moorish plates, and she doesn't have a right to travel card, and she has a license, and she parks around the corner and then walks to class. Because, you know, she doesn't want to show that she is not using a right to travel card. She has a license. These people work for SPLC every time. What do they reference? SPLC articles every time, right? Now, what they're going to talk about, they're going to go on SPLC and they're going to make quotes, right? And then let's just timestamp this so we can, right? So this is August 24th, 2011, right? And then when you go down in the article on the SPLC site, you have this. This is what they never tell you. Now let's show you how this really goes. What they don't want to tell you, right? We'll show how this really goes. Remember, they're saying that this is all some sovereign citizen, whatever, right? On March 29th, John Magali, county recorder of Allen County, Indiana, came home to find a disturbing message on his answering machine. Mr. Magali, this is Jabbar Gaines L. I'm calling about your article about the Moorish Americans. It said, I just wanted to let you know that if you ever have any problem with members of the Moorish nation, you can call me. As it happens, Magali, whose county encompasses the city of Fort Wayne, was having trouble with members of the quote-unquote Moorish nation. Starting in December 2010, nearly a dozen black men had come into this office, right? Remember, black men, right? Nearly a dozen black men have come into this office and recorded bogus documents purporting to change their names, grant themselves power of attorney general over themselves, and proclaim their unalienable and substantive rights to be, to enjoy, and to act distinct in my Aboriginal customs and culture, and determining my own political, social, and economic status of the state. Magali was not thrilled to learn that their leader, who calls himself Sheikh Jabbar Gaines L, had uncovered his home number. I got a very distinct impression from the phone call that they wanted me to know that where I live. He told the intelligence report. I've never wanted to own a gun in my life, but the phone call I got made me think about it for a second. Right? Big quotes. The situation never turned violent. Right? Underline that. Big quotation marks around that. So the situation never turned violent. And remember, this is a sheik. This is a sheik under Bailey L, who's Grand Major Temple in Chicago. Jabbar Gaines L. You just go on our YouTube page and you see that we already put it on the record. Jabbar Gaines L. And then check the timestamp of when we uploaded that to show you and make you ask yourself, where was Taharka Bey during those times? He's bringing up this SPLC article talking about Jabbar Gaines L in there, right? But we did classes with Jabbar Gaines L. Where was Taharka Bey and them back then when we were doing classes with him? Where was Ishmael Bey? Where was Sharif Bey? Where were these Moors back then? What were they doing? And we're not talking very long ago. We're talking a few years ago. How come they weren't talking then? The situation never turned violent, but Magali's gut sense that something was amiss was correct. Gaines L., who politely declined the reporter's request for a comment, is a 30-year-old Indiana native whose real name is Jabbar Gaines. He's one of the growing number of Black Americans who, as members of an outlandishly named nations, or as individuals, subscribe to an anti-government philosophy. So remember, this is all SPLC talking right now. All right? This is all SPLC talking right now. The movement of the sovereign citizens and how it connects with the Moors, and right, that convergence may not be entirely surprising, given that the MSTA's Noble Drew Ali taught that Blacks were Moors, were Americans, original inhabitants, and therefore entitled to self-government, nation within nation status. Okay, so they recognize that we have the power to be a nation. They're not saying temple, remember. They're not talking about Moorish Science Temple right now. They're talking about Moorish nation right now. There's a temple to temple status. Nation within a nation status. Remember, that convergence of the sovereign citizen stuff with the Moorish whatever may not be entirely surprising, given that the MSTA's Noble Drew Ali taught that Black Moors were America's original inhabitants and are therefore entitled to self-government. So if we're entitled to self-government, why are these dirty Moors using SPLC to show you the negative side when SPLC is also showing you the positive side of what this is about? And remember, we're not using them as a source because we already know that they're a fraud and they're not recognized by anybody who's real journalists. Now, they're not going to talk about the fact that after this, which is why in September 2013, remember their stuff, what the date was. And then September, he has an article in Frost Illustrated putting everything on the record to show how these people are a fraud. On top of that, which only inner people know, that the FBI came to check him just because of these SPLC claims. And when the FBI went to check him, guess what? No SWAT team, nobody getting shot up, none of that. A conversation. Remember, he's Moorish Science Temple. They were trying to side him with some sovereign citizen, whatever. Paper terrorists and all that type of stuff. Now, what did he do? He didn't run to Noble Drew Ali. He didn't run to Grand Sheik, whatever. He didn't run to Taj. He didn't run to RV Bay. Remember, RV Bay was around all these times, 2013, when these people who are claiming they're somebody right now, they were not even around. Nowhere to be found. So FBI checks him and realizes that these people are full of BS. Because there's no way that this Moor right here did anything that these people said that they did. Why? Because they went and they checked the county to see if he had papers filed there, which he did, because that was the standard back then, that when you declare your nationality, you take your papers to the county recorder's office and put them on the public record. And many Moors did that. Got their docket number, that anybody got a question, go check the public record. It's been there. You got an issue with it, then go whatever. And what was happening? Nobody could move on Moors, because once you put it on the public record, that takes it out of the jurisdiction of the city or the state or the province or whatever, and puts it in a common law jurisdiction where you would have to be engaging in common law to touch those papers. Other than that, you have no jurisdiction on whatever those papers say. That's on the public record, that's been on the public record. And these Moors are trying to convince you that active Moors are sovereign citizens. When the FBI went to go check an active Moor, hold on one second more. The FBI went to go check an active Moor, and they left when that active Moor stood on his square. Active Moor stood on his square. His. Not because he's Grand Sheik or because he's governor or because whatever. Stood on his square. So when a Moor stands on their square to the FBI about an article that some people are using to try to say that, oh, those Moors, look what the article said about those Moors, they're there, whatever. But the Moor got checked by the FBI and they didn't kidnap him. They didn't arrest him. They didn't give him no tickets. They didn't summon him to some tribunal. Nothing. There was no issue. So then what's the issue? In 2018, 5 years later, you guys are coming with the same BS that already got dealt with? The same BS that they already got dealt with. How? Because people have sabotaged this. Do you know where this would be right now if it wasn't for dirty Moors? I'm talking about Moors who were active. I'm talking about when Sharif Bey and Ishmael Bey and all those Moors were with Great Seal and Clock of Destiny and all that, exercising birthrights. But what does it do? You know, it makes people not want to take responsibility that they were the ones that weren't ready. That's like the story that Mario told us yesterday. At least that Moor had enough guts. That Moor had enough nuts to say, you know what? This is too heavy for me right now. Cool, no worries. We already know what it is. You didn't start bashing it. You didn't start pointing the finger at it and say, oh, you see those guys over there? Oh, man, you know, they get people arrested and they get people killed because people think that they could do what they say, and then the police are going to come and then they're going to kick the door in and all this type of stuff, talking crazy for no reason. Just doing it because they know they can get some views. And then while they're getting their views, shearing the sheep. And people not realizing that they're getting played. I went to Indiana to meet with the Grand Governor. I was there, stayed at his house. Nobody bothering him. How come? I thought he's on a paper terrorist and all that stuff. SPLC said that he whatever. But how come when I go check him, there ain't no issue? You're not living panicking like how these people are talking things are going on. These people said that SPLC said, where is it? Remember, this is, keep in mind, 2011, right? It's 2011. They use this one. Unlike the white-dominated sovereign citizen movement today, however, MSTA was explicitly not anti-government. Asserting their noble Moorish heritage was supposed to enable blacks to gain the government's recognition and respect as full citizens rather than second-class descendant slaves. Now, they're saying that this is what MSTA is about. This is what SPLC is saying. And then Moors are saying, yeah, that's what MSTA is about. How are they agreeing with SPLC's perspective of what MSTA is about? When it clearly says right here, Moors are men upright, independent, and fearless. Independent doesn't have to do with government recognition and respect as full citizens. Because Noble Drew Ali said American citizens, not full citizens. So how they're trying to use SPLC's perspective, misquoting Noble Drew Ali as a reference point to show that some other people are not doing what Noble Drew Ali brought. These people are directly saying that we're not doing what Noble Drew Ali brought, but they're riding with Southern Poverty Law Center, who on their article that they're using on their platform to show that Moors are sovereign citizens because they're active. It's misquoting Noble Drew Ali, and they're using that as a reference point. Doesn't that tell you they're not with the Prophet or you? Drew Ali exhorted young MSTA members to see the duty and wisdom of at all times upholding obedience to law, respect, and loyalty to government. Okay, loyalty to government. If you study, you know that government is family. What do you mean U.S? Loyalty to U.S? That's not government. Why would they want you as Moors to have loyalty to U.S, which is not a government, when Noble Drew Ali said you're independent? That's what Moors are. Moors are independent. Oh, so doesn't that mean they're going against, not to use any assertion against the American flag? What flag is that? Stars and Stripes? Stars and Stripes is the American flag? I thought that's a Star-Spangled Banner. How's that an American flag, but it's a Star-Spangled Banner? And then the people are too dumb to figure out that these people are puppets. They don't need no check. These people are sent by them people. They got obligations to them. They don't have a choice but to be dirty Moors. That's their check. They're gonna bring up, but some invisible guy doesn't put his name on the record. Then, oh yeah, I was down with Taj and nature and all that stuff, and I know everything that went down, and I have all the cases. Here's the cases to show you guys that these guys lost all the cases. Those cases were under color of law. What do you mean they lost? How? Hold on a second. So the so-called courts, won a case under color of law, and you're using that to say that the Moors lost a case? That sounds like incompetence to me. Because any idiot knows that fraud can't stand up in court. And if fraud does stand up in court, it's probably under color of law, or color of authority, or color of jurisdiction, or color of title, or anything colorable, which means fake. So these people at a fake court found Moors guilty, and then Moors are saying, see, those guys lost the case. Doesn't that mean they work for the guys who are under color of law? Like, am I going nuts, or is something connecting? So if I'm going nuts, turn off the stuff, jump off the balcony, this stuff's over. I really don't think that's... Because there's no way. It's an impossibility that individuals who wear turbans and fezzes are going to go on the record and put things on the record to cause confusion in the minds of the people. Yes, Canaanland Moors is a subordinate temple. The goddamn seal that we have in all of our pictures says subordinate temple. What do you mean, is Canaanland Moors a subordinate temple? What do you mean? And this is what we're talking about. You have these puppets. There's people who really want to know, and then there's people who, they're not really studying, right? Canaanland Moors does not naturalize Europeans. Why would a European be naturalized when he's ipso jure Moorish subject? What are you naturalizing for? He knows that he's in the Moroccan Empire. You think Europeans don't know that this is Morocco over here? You think we put some Europeans onto some Moorish info? These Europeans already know what's up. And they're saying we're not siding with the U.S. They don't naturalize anybody. None of these clowns would ever prove anything. All they do is just flap, flap, flap. Just flap, flap, flap. Don't even know what the hell is going on, what this is about. And if there is a jurisdiction that's going to be naturalizing, it's going to be the Moors. There ain't gonna be nobody else naturalizing anybody around here. Which is what should have been going on. Which is why Noble Ali himself told these jackasses that Chinese, Turks, Arabians, all these people had Moorish Temple of America card. What do you think they got that for? They already got a nationality. What they coming in the Moorish Temple for? If Moorish Temple gives nationality, then why are they still Chinese with a Moorish Temple nationality card? Huh? I can't hear you. If Moorish Science Temple of America makes you a Moor, how come Arabians are still Arabians with a nationality card for Moorish Science Temple? How come Japanese aren't Moorish Americans? These people play you, make you look stupid. Play you, make you look stupid. Just because you don't want to hear what active Moors are saying, because you're listening to people who's using SPLC as a source. How are you using SPLC? SPLC, that's what you're using? And again, we're telling you that these people are sellouts. The whole crew of them. You think they're not just putting Taj's name and Kudro's name and Ra's name in video just to get views? You think they're just really against something? They're not against nothing. They're about causing confusion. That's all, period. That's why, you notice that we stick to the same theme. We're not bringing up no new books and no new info for these clowns. They're dirty Moors. The proof is right there. They're gonna tell me. They're gonna try and convince you that Moors in Canada are Moorish Canadians. But how come when you go to the Spanish 101 questionnaire, anybody who speaks Spanish is Moro Americano? How come they're not Moorish Brazilian or Moorish Mexican? How come somebody from Chile is a Moorish American, but Kudro from Canada is a Moorish Canadian? Jackasses. These incompetent people is who have titles of Grand Sheik or whatever, and you're listening to them? That they're trying to convince you that Canada is not part of North America.
Wow.
Do you understand that they're trying to convince you that Canada is not part of North America? These are so-called people who've been studying for years and all that. They already been through all that. We know that that's a fraud and all that stuff. Okay, so you guys been studying for a good while. You're telling me Canada is not part of North America? Interesting. It's very interesting. Just saying. It's very interesting. They like to bring up people. So I got a message today. But I sent, oh yeah, might as well play this. Hopefully it plays. So I sent this to someone today.
Brother Taj to read Beys. on docket number 1 and 2, he said that he's the minister, and the motion was in opposition. And basically, he was saying that he called himself the Grand Chief of the Moorish Temple of America, which he not. And him and Brother Nature got his Mercedes Benz taken at Asbury Park for the plates that they sell. And basically, they just said that they was unintelligible. None of that worked. They didn't have. They lacked jurisdiction. They put the paperwork in the wrong venue, and basically everything they shot it down null and void. Nothing ever happened to the officers.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now.
And he had to pay to get his car back. He had a Mercedes Benz. It was a brand new Mercedes Benz at the time.
So it said that the decision.
No. Grand Chief Nature messaged me back after I sent him that. And he said, I never owned a Benz for one. And the municipal court had to drop the lower action against us. So whoever that is needs to get their facts straight. This is not strange. We just talked about this on Sunday about Taharka Bay. Another thing, the judge said Drew Ali gave out passports and not nationality cards, and not one more stood up for Drew Ali, but they're busy trying to discredit us. And then we'll just go to the factual background of Judge Prater memorandum and order. This is from the Moorish guidepost that Grand Chief Nature and Taj Tariq Bey were publisher and editor, and they put the whole case in there, even as we're going to read the judge's order. Now, keep in mind, be very open-minded to the fact that this is from 2006. Remember, the articles we're reading is from 2011. So remember, this is from 2006 to now. From 2006 to now, these people are still bringing the same argument. Think about how many Moors woke up from 2006 to now, and tell me if these people's BS has been working. Clearly not. Because the Moorish hordes are increasing, just like Noble Drew Ali said is going to happen. And trust me, the Moorish hordes are not increasing because of dirty Moors. The Moorish hordes are increasing because of active Moors who study and share their findings with other Moors who are willing to learn. And whatever those Moors take and do with the findings, they do because it's their birthright. And this has nothing to do with trying to prove something. We're just putting things on the record. We're just putting things on the record. So remember that in 2006, Moorish Science Temple of America was against active Moors. Always has been. This is not something new. This is why Grand Chief Nature brought up that these people diss Noble Drew Ali in the order, but they're busy dissing Grand Sheik Nature, and Taj Tariq Bey. Think about it. Under color of law, they're disrespecting Noble Drew Ali and Moorish Science Temple of America, who are representatives of Noble Drew Ali, did nothing, said nothing when the judge put out his order dissing Noble Drew Ali. These Moorish Science Temple of America people, they did nothing. But what did they do? Talk BS about Taj Tariq Bey and Grand Sheik Nature. The Great Seal, Moorish Science Temple of America, and other related entities. The Moorish Science Temple of America was founded by Timothy Drew, aka Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in 1913. The Moor members of the Great Seal 7 appear to be followers of Drew's teachings. Drew preached that all African Americans are of Moorish descent and thus are not citizens of the United States. Remember, this is the order of the judge who's going for these Moors are sovereign citizens and they're practicing some intelligible stuff. He put on the record that in Drew Ali's teachings, African Americans are of Moorish descent and thus are not citizens of the United States. Haven't these people been telling you that you're citizens? And then trying to tie you to U.S. and saying that that's the government? When the judge just put out the order saying that, no, they're not. Drew instructed his followers that all Moorish Americans must carry a Moorish passport bearing one's real name, which was often created fictitiously by adding names that Drew claimed corresponded to the three ancient Moroccan tribes, Ali, Bey, or El, to one's given birth name. It doesn't sound like he's only talking to Great Seal, Moorish Science Temple of America. It sounds like he's talking to all Moors. But these simple-minded, backward-ass Moors are too busy fighting their brother to realize that the enemy's dissing and using your birthright against you to diss you. And you're finding a problem with Moors who are active. You're finding a problem with Moors who are active? How are you finding a problem with Moors being active when that Moors are independent? All Moors are active, not passive. You tell me these Moors aren't passive, they're going to some black 1,000-man whatever? They're Moors, their whole quote-unquote doctrine, like Ishmael Bey likes to say, the Moorish doctrine, right? Again, slapping his brother in his face with his own stuff and his brother's there taking it, dissing Moors. Yo, Islam Moors. Oh. Looks like it did it. The folly is not going to stop because dirty Moors are out here. It's going to be what it is. All the Moors who are active, remain active. Stay in your lane. There's a lot more.
Peace, Moore. How you doing, Sheik?
Yo, everything's good, yo.
Okay, I know you had a little technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know what happened right there, because I wasn't even.
They're fired. They're fired, Moore. That's what happened.
Hold on, let me look, brother Yusuf. Hold on.
you short circuits and wires.
Hold on. Right. There's not a joke out here. Please, more. Islam. Yo, Supreme, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, more.
Yeah, more. Did you get to watch the thing or what?
Well, I watched. I threw up a little bit in my mouth, but I couldn't contain myself off that crap. But I watched some of it. But I did get a couple questions if you had time. But I mean, before you do your dissertation, I got a really one huge question that should be like the elephant in the room. Like, where did this SPLC come from, and who are they?
Now, let's ask them. Right? Let's go to them. See what they say.
Cool.
Right? Because remember, you know, they have their logo with the scales of justice and all that stuff. The scales are balanced, you know.
Okay.
So they're claiming, you know, a certain position, and then they're using the term law and poverty in the same. Right. Now, this is their claim, right? The Southern Poverty Law Center is dedicated and to seeking justice for the most vulnerable members of our society. Using litigation, education, and other forms of advocacy, the SPLC works toward the day when the ideals of equal justice and equal opportunity will be a reality. Now, based on what we read, it seems like they're more for the bigotry and hate. It doesn't really look like they're for what they're claiming: equality, justice. We already know that these are inquisitionists. Listen to how they talk about Moors. We already know that these are colonists because they got ties to so-called Israel and are a major part in pushing the agenda of over there is Israel, not Palestine. Their work speaks for itself. It's without a shadow of a doubt. But what is the issue? We already showed you that this is from 2011. They're taking stuff from 2006 and trying to use it in 2018 when Those Moors that they're talking about are still around today with temples and still doing work.
Right.
And all they keep bringing up is dumb people who did stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing, or they wouldn't have got what they got. Because we know Moors who are active and they don't got issues. We know Moors that have been doing right to travel. They don't get stopped and have issues. They don't get kidnapped. We know Moors that use nationality card and go on a plane and go from state to state to state to state, no issues. So the fact that they keep bringing up these particular people that's been on these people's hate list since 2011, and they're using them today. Look who their reference point is. Do your research on Southern Poverty Law Center. Because again, we push study, study, study.
Right.
And these people are going to be talking about, oh yeah, when they do classes, all they do is whatever. But I'm going to show you what the stuff is. And then they show you SPLC. That's their source. That's their source for the breaking news that Moors are sovereign citizens. These people must be a fraud and must be losing power very fast based on the extremes that they're going to try to divert your attention from being free and independent.
Right.
Master diversioners know what buttons to push to get you to think that things aren't how they seem or how they are. Really taking the position of making sure that you're not looking at this as you are your own priest. Trust me. They brought up that, oh, Valhara's locked up or whatever like that because Taj didn't do nothing for her and all that type of stuff. That's BS. Valhara got let go from Taj a long time ago because she was dirty.
Right.
And people rep her. Oh yeah, her video. I saw her video when she was wearing the suit. And then, oh yeah, and then she's dirty. She was a package seller. Just go listen to Civil Alert with Brother Hannibal Bay on there. And hear him break down the whole stuff to you. So you know that this is not some new stuff. Because people are waking up at such an alarming rate, they have to try to come with real juicy stuff to get you. What's more juicier than that? What's more juicier than Valhara's locked up and it's because of Taj? Or some guy got shot up by police and because he studied from RV Bay, because the article said that he's a Moorish national and RV Bay says Moorish national, so that means he's with RV Bay. That's called yellow journalism.
Right.
Do you know yellow journalism is a form of libel and slander? Do you know that yellow journalism gets no props from the journalism world? Zero. And again, the only way they do get props is on the color. Islam, more you add anything?
Yeah, Islam. Oh, Islam, go ahead, Mark. Yeah, Sheikh, can you go in a little bit on if the temple makes you, if the temple
the way you go to proclaim your nationality? Like, is that the only way you can become a Moor? It's by going to your temple? Or
well, yeah, no,
I don't know. That's how they're saying it, because I know the question's colored, but
yeah,
it's hard for me.
No, I get what you're saying. You see, like, that's why we said the thing earlier, that, again, we'll put it out again. During the Prophet's time, Chinese, Arabians, Turks, Japanese all had nationality cards for the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right? So, what did they become? By having that card now. Because if they became Moorish Americans, then he would have just said Moorish Americans. Why did he specifically say these people? By their nationality.
Yeah.
He said by their nationality because he's trying to let Moors know this is bigger than some group. He's the prophet for the uniting of Asia. He's the prophet for the uniting of Asia. These people are going to tell you about you have to be part of a temple to be a Moor. When with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. Okay. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. So that means you would have to have a nationality to proclaim, if you remember. That's why Noble Drew Ali told you that your nationality is Moorish American. And remember, 101 questionnaire was in the newspaper, not a book like what we have today. So the questionnaire being in the newspaper means that before you even come to the temple, you know you're Moorish American. There was no book called 101 questionnaire in Noble Drew Ali's time. There was only the Moorish Guide newspaper. Questionnaire came later. That's why they hide the records. Because if you check the Moorish Guide newspaper, you'll see that the questionnaire was in there.
Pardon me, Sheikh.
Yeah, man.
Now, when the prophet said that, pardon the feedback because I'm outside, but when the prophet said that we were Moorish American, considering people coming from different nation states, Chinese and the others and the like, wasn't he in actuality tying us back to this land?
Ultimately, because the real deal is that he was Cherokee.
Right.
He is indigenous. Look at him. Does he look black? Yeah. Well, he wasn't black. He was indigenous.
Right.
He was here before the European came here. He was American, which is why he said American citizens.
Right. Exactly.
Because he already knew what was up. You're saying American citizens and he's talking about U.S. What kind of stupid ass thinking is that? Why would he say American citizens? Throughout all the literature, all he talks about is American citizens. Never once did he say United States citizens in the literature.
That's right. That's right.
But it's on a nationality card and then people run with that. And again, not knowing that this is a mindset. This is not some card, some papers. Been telling people that. As soon as you get caught up that there's some papers, I'm going to show these papers and this is what's going to, you already played yourself. So this ain't about papers. You didn't see Devil's Advocate before a dude went to court, he went and put the nail through the cow tongue and all that stuff? Before he went to court, he went to check the witch doctor before court. You think this is about some papers? This is about some papers. But Devil's Advocate, a law movie, had the man go to the freaking witch doctor before court.
Wow.
And people thinking this is about papers. You're going to file some papers with these Europeans and then, yeah, oh yeah, they love you. You're Moors.
So that would, pardon me, Sheik, that would take us to another question if you don't mind.
Yeah, Moor, go ahead, fam.
You had said earlier that Ishmael and Sharif were coming from, what is it, the Great Seal, or what were they originally? They were with Taj, right?
Say that again?
Ishmael and Sharif, they were both in the order, right? With Taj.
Well, I don't know who they were with or not with, but the Moors who brought us up put him on the level with Taj.
Okay,
I'll put it like that.
Okay. Okay, now why is it that these, okay, I don't even know what to call them, because I don't want to call them my brothers, but I know they are my dirty little brothers who can't keep their nose clean. Why are they always trying to put this brother who's done great things for many of us more without even meeting us one-on-one, keeps trying to throw him up under the bus?
No, but remember, they keep saying we don't have nothing to do with Taj. It's about what he's teaching.
Right, okay.
Right? So that's how they get out from under that. Because remember, they come from they already know the science. They're not stupid. Like, they're not stupid. Like we said, the Moors who brought us in at that time, 2008, looked at Sharif Bey equal to Taj.
Wow.
He was being brought out by them to lecture at their temple about sovereignty and all that. He wasn't lecturing about some BS like what he's doing now. Remember, he wasn't lecturing like how he's lecturing now. He wasn't lecturing this stuff in 2008. When the Moors brought him to their temple to lecture.
Well, you know, it seems to me that some people took that yellow envelope.
They took something. You know what I mean? I don't even know what they took, but I know they took something or got something or something. Because no way you jump ship like that without getting something. No way. It's impossible. Because the Moors who brought us in, they were super active. These Moors go to court, 20 Moors go to court. Super active. Like we said, they had the fleet when they travel with their own plates. 3, 5, or 7. That's how they moved throughout the city of Chicago. 2008. These people tell you that this is not real? These people going to tell you that we're doing some sovereign citizen BS? Where the hell were they in 2008 when Moors were exercising this? Like we said, the Moors who brought us in, there was a Moor in their temple with a walker that was first to his meetings. The walker Moor.
Yeah.
The walker Moor who, when we were there, we were about to make a left at a light and he was crossing. The Moors pulled over. The Moor said, "You don't worry about me, Moor. I don't miss my meetings." Took the bus with room in the car, took the bus to his temple meeting. You think this is not real?
Wow.
And then you wonder why, you know, Kudrow talks how he talks and stuff like that. Because I experienced certain stuff in this. That I know these people are a freaking fraud. I know that they're a fraud. Because I've seen things in this to know that this is real. I've seen things like that. A man in a walker beating everybody with cars to the meeting. Not just once, you know. We were there for a weekend. Went to temple 3 days. The Moor with the walker was at the meeting first. You're telling me that you're not going to go with the Moor with the walker? You're going to listen to these guys using SPLC? The Moor with the walker was an active Moor because he didn't know license to use his walker and none of that.
Right. Now, was there no Taj Tariq Bey teachings neither?
There's definitely not some Taj Street Bay teachings, even though those Moors, you know, give supreme honors to the master teacher.
I don't get that though. So they say they don't have a problem against Taj, but they have the problem with his teachings.
With his teachings, yeah. Which obviously, you know, to them is not him. He is not his teachings.
But okay, even that. If the Moors are the art and code of civilization, created law, which is well known to the world, the Moors created law. They're going against their ancestors.
Yep.
And the prophet said to honor your forefathers and foremothers.
Oh, but if they're going against them, then that should prove the point again. Right?
Either way.
And again, people getting caught up in this BS that, you know, Grand Sheik and all that stuff. I'm Moorish American. Yeah, without Grand Sheik, we'll still be doing whatever we're doing. Same thing that we're doing right now. Doing lectures, doing classes, because we've been doing this. We'll just be doing it. We'll just be doing it Moorish now. Think this is some new stuff? There's no you're going to the temple and the temple's going to make you a Moor. None of that. They're gonna go study to find out about your birthrights.
How did the Chinese be Chinese?
Right?
I mean, you know, it's really part of the game. I mean, it's all really a game because the way that I hear it last time, Tahaka was trying to ban Ishmael off his channel. Just listening to this past one, they like was boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, because that's how they do. Remember, they're from the Sarnetter school of videology.
Yep, that's right.
Right, that's right, boy.
Right? So they're gonna play those "I don't like you today, I hate you tomorrow" tactics in order again to play this game. And then again, like Brother Jeremy Beys said, you know, for the people who can't see the chat, which temple did the Sundry Free Moors go to be Moors? There's a good one. Answer that question.
I'll wait on that.
Yeah, I'll wait too.
He just opened up a whole nother portal. I got a million questions now. I was like, okay, yeah, exactly.
Brother Yusuf, how you say, boom, shakalaka.
You killed him with that one. I'm like, wait a minute. You can't do that.
Playing.
So, please.
Yeah, all you chat haters, you can put it out right now. You know, we're just here 18, put it out right now so we can assist you.
If you have to go through the temple to be a Moor, why is the flag over 10,000 years?
Yeah.
It's a lot of questions. What about all the Moors who brought the Europeans out of the Dark Ages? What temple they went to?
Yeah, for real.
Come on. Like, I got a lot of questions now. Like, you opened up a lot. I would love to know.
Yeah. Since you have to go to the temple to be a Moor. Right. Since that's the teaching.
How about this one? Was there a temple in Spain?
With charters, you know, that's what I'm saying. It has to see that.
You have to look. No, this is the same way that you're looking at when we say certain stuff. You're like, you laugh because that's freaking funny. Same thing you have to do with these people. Because there's no way that's in the claims that they're making.
Right.
They can't be serious with these claims. If they're serious with these claims, they're incompetent. And why would you listen to somebody incompetent? Like we said, they brought this up too about, you know, you're gonna go listen to whatever, and then they're gonna put you in the madhouse. We knew Moors that were in the madhouse. One Moor got out of the madhouse using a writ of habeas corpus. They let him out ASAP. Right? And of course, there's not going to be no record because they're kidnapping people. And the other reference point was Moore got sent to the madhouse, went to court, stood on the square, whatever like that. They said, forget that, we're going to put you in the madhouse. Sent him to the madhouse. He's in the madhouse calling me from the reception of the madhouse. Why are you calling me from the reception of the madhouse? Oh, yeah, they let me use the phone or whatever. How they let you use the phone? Oh, because I told them down more. And I told them that these people are running fraud. They violated all the declarations of the rights of indigenous people, and they're holding me here against my will. And reception just gave him the phone. Anytime, come, you know what I mean? We used to call there, leave messages for him. He'll call back and all that. Call to the madhouse, the reception line. How? How is he in the madhouse and he's getting calls and messages given to him?
Wow.
And then he's calling back and like he's there and we're talking and he's laughing there. Really looking like crazy dude, holding a phone, laughing. We're laughing hard at the absurdity of these people and their fraud. That they would let the Moor use the phone, the reception phone. The crazy house, like you're here. I'm hearing the people in the back running around and stuff like that. Like the madhouse. They just let him go to the madhouse and use the phone? And you think that this is not real? So court date comes now. Same thing. Because now he knows that it's real because he was in the madhouse using the phone. Like, okay, these guys know what's up. So wait till I go back to court. Goes back to court. Again. Judge said, shut. I don't want to hear anymore. Because these guys violated you. Threw the book at a prosecutor. Made prosecutor apologize to him and all of that stuff. Made prosecutor apologize for sending him to the madhouse.
Wow.
Right? But they're going to say, oh yeah, that's just talk and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where's the transcript and all of that? What transcript for what? Why would they have a transcript of that? Do you think they want us dissecting that online and all that stuff?
Not at all.
Ain't nobody said Todd Street Bay is a prophet. So F out of here. It's Todd Street Bay is prophet of somebody. He ain't no prophet of nobody. Get the hell out of here.
Somebody saying that?
Somebody's saying that. We said that.
Oh, man.
We're not saying
Todd
Street Bay is no prophet. Get the hell out of here.
Wow. Wow. The things that people, the length that people would go to, man. Wow.
Right? Hey.
Quick fast.
And trial Poindexter. Poindexter. Don't, you know, if you have questions, that's what we're here for. Don't be asking questions in the chat or whatever. Put the question so we can answer your dumb ass right now. What are you talking to people in the chat? What are you talking to people in the chat? What were you going to say, Brother Yusuf?
I wrote down, he asked one question I wrote down. He said, or a comment actually. He said, having a charter makes you makes you a sheep. You got to have a charter. And he also wants to know, does Canaanland Moors have a lawful charter? And he also wants to know if you're a grand sheep.
Now, since 2008, it's now 2018, and find me anybody in any of these Grand Major Temples, Supreme Grand whoever's, who said that I'm not a Grand Sheep and I don't have the credentials. For that, that's the first thing. Second thing, with regard to the charter that we had since 2008, which is 2018 right now, find me one of these Supreme Grand whoever's that's going to claim that our charter is not legitimate. When you bring those people, then we could have a conversation. Until that, ain't nothing to talk about, because we've been putting this out. We've been here. We've been here doing this. And these people are just mad because they've been doing this for 30, 40 years, still in the seat. They started out with black hairs. Now they got gray hairs. They're still in the seat. And nothing's changed around here. Like nothing changed. Nothing changed. How's nothing changed and you wear the gray hairs? And all of a sudden, these people are starting to talk up or whatever. But they were nowhere to be found in 2008.
Wow.
They weren't saying anything. 1990s, they weren't saying anything. Don't even know how crazy it is. These Moors mad. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Because Moors are standing up for their birthright, regardless of what the risk is. Right now, and then when you say, when they start talking about you guys follow Taj more than the Prophet, that's when you know you got them. They ran out of bullets, and it's time to jump them. Chase them down and jump them, because Dummy wasn't counting his bullets.
It was all blanks.
Right? Mess their self up. Mess their self up. Because they thought that they can slap box with God. This is not, you know, nothing hard. I mean, exactly, you know, it's all the vampires. The well's dry. Ain't nothing else to you to get. There's no more. No more getting anything. The well's completely dry. Taj is a prophet. We follow Taj more than Prophet Noble Juali.
That's a new one, more.
Yeah, that's a new one. That's really a new one. Right?
Wow.
Somebody mad, talking to their teeth.
Talking mad, you know? We're obsessed with the term more. We're obsessed with the term more. We should focus on Muslim. Why should we focus on Muslim? Like, why? Why? Do we look like religious idiots to you? Do we? Why would we, you know, focus on Muslim more than more? Because what you really aren't understanding is that a Muslim is a Musliman, which is a Moor. A Muslim, Musliman, Muslim, Musliman, Muslim, Musliman, Muslim, Muslim.
You just did that, Sheik. Some people brain just turned to water.
Turn to water. Water.
Drip, drip, drip.
Right? This is why it's important that you study. Because when you study, you wouldn't have dumbass questions. When you study, you wouldn't have a block. Because it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to get caught up. Just like the Moor said, they're so caught up with Taj name that it appears that they're the ones that's following Taj. They say his name so much.
You're right. You're right.
Islam to brother Wimpy L.
Oh, that's my Moor right.
That's my Moor too.
That's my Moor right.
That's my Moor too.
My
Active Moors, right? Active Moors. Islam to brother Amazite too, brother Amazite big.
Oh yes.
Islam. There you go.
You say AC. You say instead of having writer's block, they got thinker's block. Yeah.
They blocked with something. You have to wonder about these Moors. You have to wonder.
Their brain need an animal.
They clogged up in the brain. Clogged up. Super clogged. Right? So these things are signs. These things are signs. These people putting out these things, you know, us being able to use it as a beating stick, not just to expose them, but also, you know, to teach you a little something, something. Because trust me, I could be cooking up something right now or eating or at the neighbor's house or watching a movie or something like that instead of being on this. But, you know, we have this thing that we are unified as active Moors. So any chance we get, you know what I mean, we try to build, you know what I mean? And it just happens that, you know, sometimes the builds might be live. Just because this is just what we do. You know, we're not these temple Moors and caught up in, you know, going to this building and all that stuff. Anywhere Moors go is a temple. Anywhere Moors are at in more than two is the temple.
Wow.
Ain't like people are tripping. You know, Grand Sheik Nature put out the newspaper, public record, put out everything that happened, everything. Ain't nothing to hide. They're
What
looking
year
at
was
it.
that?
That was 2006.
What were these Moors at in 2006?
Where were these Moors at? Where were Tarka? Where were you in 2006?
Right.
Where were you? What were you doing in 2006? Bet you weren't talking. I bet you weren't talking BS about Taj.
He was outside the liquor store. Red company singing doo wop. Hey yo, my phone about to die, yo. I'm gonna plug it up for a second, man.
I don't know if they have a script. I don't think they have a script. They're just out here to cause confusion. You know what I mean? You know, because if they have a script, they would have to write it. You know, and they don't seem too intelligent to write a script.
No, so they edit their live stream.
Yeah, they don't have a script. They were giving up the ass, like brother Mario Beys said. That's what they're doing.
He said they was giving up that. Oh shit!
You know, because they really think that it's having some effect or something, like 300 gangsters in the building, right? You think it has some effect? We're the anti-government, but you're 300 gangster, and we're the ones that are we're the agents.
He said 300. He said 300.
Come on, yo. We're the ones. We're the ones that have it messed up. Come on, yo. You know how much people waking up to this? Just because of active Moors? Not even these temple people? Temple people been playing around for years, playing. Now they're getting a little bit of publicity or whatever. They think, oh yeah, we're gonna take advantage of this. We're gonna take advantage of this. Yes. We are gonna take advantage of this. Little did they know that they were playing themselves. Jeru told them, but they don't want to hear Jeru. Jeru told them they played themselves. They don't want to hear that. And they're gonna keep playing. Don't think that it's over. Just watch. They're gonna keep playing. Right? Don't worry, we got Grand Sheik Nature this weekend doing our Correcting Black History. You know, we've been putting Grand Sheik Nature, even if people were talking BS about him. Why? Because we don't care what people say. We don't open our ear to slander. We're Moors. We open our ear to slander. He told you, these people are a beating stick. These people are just a reason for us to go live, have something to talk about, something to do a video about, other than putting out the information, because we know our people don't want info. They want verses. They want debates. So, okay, fine. We'll go against everybody. We'll call out everybody. Everybody's dirty. Everybody's dirty. Hulk smash, everybody. Just because. You know, just because. So, you know, it's not like we're really, you know, caring what people say, you know. Like Taj said, you know, we follow him and stuff like that, you know. We're Taj Tariqites, and you know, he's our prophet and all that stuff. You know, like he said, we're thick skinned. We ain't worry about these damn people with their BS. We already know people are waking up. Voicemail full every week. You think I'm worried about Tarka Bay and their BS? Get the hell out of here. It's just some fun to have with some people who think they're smart, think they know what's going on. They think they know what's going on, but they don't know what's going on. They're playing, super playing. They're playing on some different levels. Willingly consenting to play with your birthright, while other people get off scot-free because they're giving them the power. They call them officer, and, you know, they call them government. All the power that these people are using to violate you, right? They're getting from these dirty Moors. All the power they're getting from these dirty Moors. And it's amazing how these people are really using the power. And then they're using the power against them, and they don't even get it. Because they think that it's about them, when this is about the nation. They think this is about some temple. This is not about some temple. Right? Yeah, go to Moorish World TV. You're the people that we don't want part of this. Please get the hell out of here. Because we don't need passive Moors. We don't need dirty Moors. We don't need none of y'all. What does the green fez mean? Like I tell people on numerous occasions, I have green shoes. So the fez matches my shoes, because I like to match my hats. That's why I have a green fez. Like, if you don't want to accept that, then that's on you. Like, I don't care if that's, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know what I mean? That's my birthright customs. What Canaanland customs? That's my birthright customs. Think somebody's gonna tell me what kind of tassel color to have and whatever like that? How long my tassel should be because something? The hell out of here. If I want to take the tassel off, not have a tassel on my fez, I could do that. If I want to put my tassel on my turban, I could do that. Just birthrights. People don't own this. People don't own this.
You don't say nothing about those. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Mark.
I'm just saying they don't say nothing about the reincarnated quote unquote prophets that mark their feathers.
Oh, they don't talk about them.
But mad, you got a different color. But theirs is marked. Brother prophet.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they are haunted. They are under possession. Because that's the only way they can be talking as crazy as they talk.
Yeah.
Like you have to be under some type of guidance to talk this way, to use the reference points that they use. I still can't believe that they're bringing up this stuff from Grand Sheikh Nature 2006. They're still using that.
It's the spirit, Sheik. I'm telling you.
And then the Moors that they use that get locked up or whatever are the Moors who RV Bey and Taj and Nature and whatever said, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Why would you do that? Oh, you're just gonna go do that? Okay, well then do your thing then. They're not gonna tell them that part. Right? Because why would these people take responsibility for other people's actions? I wouldn't put that on myself either. You're saying because I taught you and you went out there and did some madness that falls on me? Ha! What are you trying? How about you shouldn't have been doing what you were doing? You wouldn't have got caught up in no craziness. Nobody made nobody do anything. Nobody made somebody exercise their right to bear arms and shoot a police. What are you talking about? And we talk about active, it ain't even about me being active. There's people who put me on. I ain't nobody. I got put on to what this is. And I got put on by Moors who were sincere, square, right, and exact. And go to a Moor and Moor said goes on vacation and whoop something up, then now I'm obligated. Any more I deal with, I got to do that too. That's just what it is. You know, it ain't no different than, you know, when even dealing with Brother Yusuf and Supreme and, you know, certain people that I met, you know, like we met and it was like we've been knowing each other. You didn't meet like this is some new Moorish thing that we're part of or whatever like that. Like we met on this is something ancient. This is a divine meeting. Not just some Moors that know each other. We saw each other online and exchanged numbers. Now we know each other.
Prophet said it was divine first.
And that it was. Divine, that it was. Yeah, Morris. So you got anything else? Because I think the last troll left. So we can probably close this out soon. But we know they're mad. They're gonna be mad because we're still here.
Yeah. Once they say Todd, you guys say Todd is a prophet? Oh yeah. It was over then. It was over a half hour ago, 40 minutes. And then it was over then.
Crazy.
Smash, smash, smash.
Like the Morris said, kick rocks with no shoes on, yo. F out of here.
It's cold out there too.
Yeah.
Questions. I got a couple more, but I want to save that for the next Q&A though, Sheik. Really good.
Next go around. No doubt.
But you beat that horse. I mean, you beat that horse back to life and beat him to death and beat him back to life. So hey, you know.
You know how it goes, more.
Hey, I love it, more. I love it.
They're gonna run out.
Say it again.
They're gonna run out of stuff to say.
Yeah, eventually, you know what I mean? Like we said before, you know, go back and check all the Dirty Moor classes that we did. Right? And see how many of these people are around still. And then ask yourself, hey, why aren't they talking BS still? How come Cujo's still here and those people are gone with the wind? How come Taj still around teaching? How come RV Beys still doing it? They're sovereign citizens and all that stuff, and they're selling this and that, but they're still here putting out the work. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Don't forget, they're gonna have their boy. They're gonna bring out their Supreme Grand whoever to try to say that, you know, they're the legitimate whatever. But don't forget, on Channel 3 News with the car tag debate, when Chief Minister Rasadi L went on the record on numerous occasions denouncing Moorish sovereignty. I quote, "There are a lot of bootleg groups out there. We call them bootleggers because what they have done is they've gone to the temple, got a nationality card, run out and adopt a Eurocentric idea or conception such as sovereignty," right? That's a European idea or conception, sovereignty, right? Driving without a license, paying taxes. These Moors are saying that Moors who do that are practicing a Eurocentric idea or conception called sovereignty. Right? They're going to go on again. I quote, "We are not a sovereignty group. We are not a land-grabbing thieving group, said Sadi L, who Morisco World is going to have on their channel tonight or something like that, right? With the Moorish Science Temple of America. We have driver's licenses. We pay taxes. We are not a sovereignty group. He added, we went to a home in South Memphis where the woman who is squatting at the East Memphis home told Memphis police she lived when she was arrested in October. Abkare Bey was charged for attempting to run over officers. I thought she was charged for stealing a house. Anyone there? Is anyone there?
Wow.
Remember we told you this, but how come, right? How come they're going to tell you that Abkare Bey is locked up because she used Taj's this and she used RV Bey that, and she tried to claim a house and that didn't work and they got her locked up? But how come in the news it's that she attempted to run over officers? Why she's locked up? How come house claiming isn't even part of the question? Because that was the initial claim, was it not? People on the line, people in the chat. Wasn't the claim that she stole a house?
That's right.
She did some sovereign citizen, whatever, and tried to claim a house, right? Okay. So she tried to claim a house, but she got locked up for running over or attempting to run over. But then, interesting. This is how they do.
That's major right there. That's they don't understand how major that is. That's major.
Major. Oh yeah. And I forgot. I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but just to put it on the record again. Remember the Dirty Moor that they brought on their channel that was talking about they went grocery shopping with Mother Raz and all that stuff?
Oh, the headless horseman.
Headless horseman. Did you notice that this is another headless horseman?
Right.
The one who was talking about nature didn't put his name on the record?
Right. Caught that too, Mark.
You don't think these people are working game on you? How come he didn't put his name on the record? Because they already know. And don't let them come now and give you a fake name, make you think that that's that. Let them put up their nationality card if they want to show what their name is. We don't want any words. And put nationality card with a picture. You know. And that still might not be you because you could have put your name on the record, but you heard because you asked, hey, did you hear me? You asked. When Tarka Bey said, Islam, what's your name? And then you said your name and the thing tripped out. But then you asked, hey, can you hear me? And he agreed that he can hear you. How come you didn't put your name on the record again? Because why would you ask if you can hear you if you didn't hear the thing trip out? Straight up agents, straight up sellouts, straight up traders. That's what it is. Whether you accept it or not, that's on you. But know for a fact that, know for a fact that we are just putting it on the record. There's nothing to debate. There's nothing to argue. There's nothing to debate. There's nothing to argue. We already know what's what. Trust we know. Trust that we know. And, you know, or the most we could do is put it out. You know, and just really hope that, you know, the people, just hope that the people recognize what's up and get down with studying and knowing themselves, because majority of the people out here do not consider your best interests. Trust me. Trust me. They tried to sell me packages. Trust me. The Moors are dirty out here. Dirty. Want to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind. Want to keep you Negro, black, colored with a fez on. Make sure you study for yourself so you know. So you can hear them telling you BS. You already know that it's BS. Right? We told you. They won't tell you the secret in the convention that Noah Ali was talking about Asiatic states of America. They never show you the convention minutes. Because if you know it's Asiatic states, then you know that you had your own government and you're not anti-government because you don't want to deal with the Europeans. That's not anti-government. That's you're independent. If you're independent, you do it yourself. Islam, right, Red Coyote. Just keep paddling. You'll catch up to the boat. Don't worry. You just keep paddling. Don't worry about
wasn't that
this.
part of me, Sheik?
Yeah, more.
Pardon me, Sheik.
Go ahead, Mark.
Wasn't that a part of the ballots also? The Independent Party, wasn't that used to be part of the grandstand of voting, right?
No, I don't even know.
Yeah, you used to could vote as an independent. And I think they just did away with that. I think you can only vote Democratic or Republican, so-called now.
Oh yeah, I remember the independent voting.
You remember you remember that, right, brother? It used to be an independent party that you can actually vote independent for independent incumbent or person.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't hear that in a while.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I think they got rid of it. I was trying to talk about I'm 41, so yeah, it's been a good little while.
Yeah, boy. Oh, brother Broderick Bey. Islam, more. Shouted you out earlier. Yeah, Morris. Well, you already know.
Indeed.
Also, watch out for these Moors. And again, remember, you know, when the unknowns, and they don't want to put their name on the record and stuff like that, just keep remembering, you know, these people are probably puppets. As soon as they start talking about RV Bay publications, negative. As soon as they start talking about Taj Tariq Bay, negative. You know what I mean? They could talk about Cujo, negative, because I ain't nobody. But when they start talking about them people, negative, know that these are probably dirty people you're dealing with, because there's no need for them to talk negative about those individuals, because all they've done is try to assist in the uplifting acts. All they've done is try to assist in the uplifting acts. That's all they tried to do. No, that's all they tried to do.
Yeah.
No, and they have been successful at doing that. Because guaranteed they'll be able to show you examples of people who exercised their birthright and, you know, got checked for exercising their birthright. Not because it's wrong, But because, you know, the colonist knows as soon as you start talking birthrights, it's over for them. And the amount of people talking about birthright, there's going to be some collateral damage. Just because they have to make it look good. They have to make it look like they have it under control for the mindless masses. Once you realize that they don't have it under control, when you realize that things are in chaos right now for them, because people are waking up to their nationality and birthrights, you'll get on board ASAP. And again, assist in the work. Assist in bringing our people into the marvelous light. Because there are some people who, you know, see the marvelous light down there and think they're in it. Right? Like you have to at least have your head into the light. That you can't be looking at the light talking about you're in the light. Oh yeah, I'm in the marvelous light. I'm going to exercise some birthrights. No, it's not like yet. Like you have to be in the light. You know, like when they have the threshold at the door, you have to cross the threshold. Okay, you have to cross the threshold into the light in order to exercise your birthright. Like you can't have your hand in and think that, oh yeah, you know, this is going to work. Out of darkness into the marvelous light. So your whole self has to be in the light because you're going to be out of the darkness. It's like only when you're out, completely out of the darkness, will you be in the marvelous light. Well, the people want to do half and half and say about their birthrights working. That's why when you use in propria persona, also look up in full life.
Yeah.
And again, you know, like Brother Broderick Beys said, the bird gets pushed out the nest. You know, some birds don't get the flapping going too good, and they just get pushed out the nest, and that's that. Why? You're gonna blame the mom? No, the bird wasn't ready. You give you the test, you fail. Oh, you just weren't ready. Just know that when these Europeans give you tests, they're not playing. They're not playing A, B, C, D, E is your mark. They're playing kidnap you, or you better know what the hell you're talking about. Their D is kidnap you. Their you fail is kidnap you. And again, Noble Ali said, it's only going to be a handful saved, and I'll have fingers left over. So all you cowards who don't want to be Moors, it's cool. It ain't no big deal. We already know. Just don't talk BS about the Moors who aren't cowards. Don't talk BS about the Moors who aren't cowards if you're a coward. If you don't want to stand up for your birthright and you want to go to black stuff because you don't want to stand up for your birthright, you want to ride the black train, then go ahead with your fez and go ride the black train. Don't get mad when Moors talk about you or whatever, bring you up to show how much of a folly you Moors are, that you got this sign called Moor Science Temple. And if we ask you, how much temples you got, whatever, all you got is that one temple, but you started this with black hair and now you got gray hair? You tell me BS about Europeans being Moors and all this type of stuff, like they're not Muslims or something? They're not muscle and tissue. Well, they're made from stone, so they're not. They don't count. Europeans who are students, not only students, actually good people, friends. European who, when we go to Montreal, it's some Europeans that we stay at. It's some Europeans open up their house for us to stay at their house. Yep, and then they let us use the kitchen, cook up our veggie stuff and all that. So if that's the case, if these Europeans recognize the Moors, because remember, Drawley said, if the European help me, why not you? Okay, well, the Europeans look at us as a representative of Noble Drawley, so they help us. Like, they help us. And then they're going to talk BS because these Europeans honor Kudro. They're just mad that the Europeans don't honor them. That's what it is. They're just mad. Because even Europeans know that U.S. is a private, foreign, bankster corporation that they want nothing to do with. So they would rather say, you know what? Let me side with the Moors who are actually the heirs to the land. Ask Rick Smith. You think Peter Moon and Rick Smith could put out the information that they put out without being under the jurisdiction of the Moroccan Empire? So these Europeans don't have jurisdiction over them and assassinate them like they did to Bill Cooper, like they did to James Traficant, like they did to JFK. That's why they're not getting touched, speaking the type of truth that they're talking. Because they know they're ipso germ subjects.
Quick interjection.
Yeah, more.
If they keep talking about that sovereign citizen stuff, right? Okay. If they saying that's that sovereign citizen stuff, which the European is teaching, European is talking about, like you said, the European even knows that the United States is a corporation and all of that. So if we're even going with the quote unquote that you guys are going with that sovereign citizen stuff, well, if you check what the Europeans are doing with that sovereign citizen stuff, they're saying that the United States is a corporation, they're not United States citizens. So that means that they're saying the Moors with fezzes on that they are United States citizens, that that this is the United States and all of that. By saying that, oh, you go and give us that sovereign citizens, that they, the quote unquote with that, because they're saying that it's a corporation. But if you're going against saying that what their teachings of the sovereign citizen is that the United States is a corporation, then that means that those dirty Moors with those feathers on, Taharka and the rest of them, are saying that be a United States citizen, be part of the corporation, a de facto corporation.
Right. Imagine that.
Because that's what they're saying.
Yep.
Because they just throw out that word sovereign citizen, but that's a oxymoron. But of the teachings of sovereignty, of what sovereignty is, they're against. They want you to be part of the corporate de facto system. That's what they want you to be part of.
Yep.
Like be subject to that, naturalized to that.
Straight up.
will put you back into underneath the jurisdiction of the United States, which you already was, Negro colored black, but now you're subject to the United States Corporation as a Moor.
As a Moor,
no.
Worse. As a Moor, you're under the jurisdiction now. Because before you could argue, oh, that's not me. You can't take the body. You can't argue that now. And they're gonna make sure they capitalize it and everything, so you can't even get out of it.
Yep. Wow. And back to paying taxes on your own ancestral estate, back to paying mortgages on your own ancestral estate, back to getting licenses on your own ancestral estate. That's what they want you to do.
Yeah. And again,
that keeps the European here longer.
Exactly. And again, just to put it out there too, that there's Moorish Americans who have nationality cards that have licenses and passports. Why? Because they know how to live within contracts.
Exactly.
And if the go down, both of those are getting put down. Not just the corporate document only. If the ish gets thick, both of those are getting put down. Which in situations both have gotten put down, and they went with the nationality card document as the identity.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to put this just so that the people can know that us saying that we're Moors and all that, us saying that we're Moors and exercising our rights is nothing criminal. It's doing exactly what Noble Drew Ali said, which is stand up and enforce the Constitution. Don't forget tomorrow night, third Thursday of the month, Sons of Allah. Tomorrow night, third Thursday of the month, Sons of Allah. Blog Talk Radio, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And since we didn't get to talk to Brother Miz today, I'm sure tomorrow he is going to have a lot to put on the record with regard to, you know, people trying to play with Mother. So if the Moors got any closeout, you could just put those on the record.
Good. Yusuf, you good? Yeah, I just want to say Islam to all the Moors. Islam to all the Moors in the chat. For Hawk smashing. Dexter is a Norman name. And yeah, Islam.
Islam, Moors. Like I say, this is your brother, Supreme L. I'd like to thank my brother Yusuf and my Grand Sheik, Cujo. He's a good man. Both of y'all brothers are good men, and we need more of you men out there. I want to thank all you brothers and sisters that's in the chat. Of course, y'all keeping them scimitars just shoving.
Keep sharpening them.
Keep shoving them.
Keep sharpening them. Don't even
That's
use
what
it.
I love about you, Moors. I love you, Moors. But no, right behind this one, I'm going to definitely work on a partner interjection tonight because I don't think that horse is fully put to sleep. I want to finish putting the rest on him tonight.
Yeah, chop that up. Make some meat, some horse burgers tomorrow.
You already know, baby. We call it a Krabby Patty. We're gonna make some Krabby Patties out of y'all. But definitely look out for that because it's going to be definitely a partner interjection on the follow up. But I love you more, and thank you for the platform. Sheik is always blissful coming on.
Islam, and one more thing again. One of the Moors just put out Hold on. Moore put out that he went to court, made a special appearance, right? Made a special appearance, told him that Moore's typing so fast, moving the chat and shit. Crazy. Let's go nuts. So basically, the Moor went to court and they said, "You're a sovereign citizen?" He said, no, I'm not. Stood on his whatever, that he's not sovereign citizen, and they dismissed it because he was not sovereign citizen.
Wow.
That was 2015, according to the Moor in the chat. So
all right now.
People could take it however they want to take it. You know what I mean? Just know the boat has left the dock. If you're too far behind, there might be no help for you. Sharks coming. So Islam to all the Moors. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. And you got something for me there, Supreme. 1 second.
Yeah, let me put this out there before I do our ritual. I'd like to say that brother Keenan L, he's gonna be on tonight with me. He say peace and love to you, but we're gonna put him on because he actually went on to Moriscos World TV, so that's gonna be a good one, Mars.
Oh, all right, breakfast tomorrow morning.
Yes, indeed. You know how we do it, chef. Gotta have your veggie patty and cocoa water in the morning.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It never fails. It never fails. Hold on, yo. All right, more.
All right, family. Tahaki, LZ. You, sir.
The street is my world. I don't pretend to go uptown and see. I can, but I find more real in the world that I'm in than I do the tinsel. And the real world is the one I have to deal with every day, you know. Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
Let the bass kick.
Playtime been over since y'all dropped the ball. Bound to the continent, there's no asylum for y'all. Pushing the black Asiatic game with Fort L and Pool Bay. Before NOI, I rep draw L all day. How many fakes proclaim to be the reincarnation and claim to be the true head of the Moorish nation? No mention of Billy Ill, but I read his letters. Dirty Moors mad because they thought they dead his letters. Many were there when decisions were handed down. Now they claim that Milil was not ordained, not commissioned, not called or appointed. With divine plans for ages, but Dirty Moors making changes, working with FBI during infiltrations. In a pheasant alleys, giving bogey smoke inhalations. And secret wars are made, heads are made in public mentions. Don't believe, get the minutes of the first convention. Kirkman and Lomax Beys got called out as villains against the Prophet Soden and L. Paul Givens. Thousands of Moorish Americans follow those leaders that killed the prophet and made Moors parrots not readers. They don't study, brains hollow. To crush the truth, plant dissension in the ones that follow. Rob the treasury, felt like they hit the lotto. Took advantage of the faithful Moors in their times of sorrow. Moments still critical, 100 years later, the message. Stick to the principles in your actions, be progressive. Don't sell your soul for a title, take your membership role. Watch out for grand cheeks pushing you in a censorship hole. The sellout was great, now they comfy and won't get the hell out. Active Moors come around, they get clumsy. Not humbly, but act grumpy and jumpy. Active Moors see them touchy and think it's lovely. With faces ugly, I push back, so don't shove me. If not for love, it would be just as dirty Moors get from me. Hitting all reincarnates and writs of discovery, and demanding the treasury, recovery, and love for money. Wearing a fez don't make you a Moorish adept. Dirty Moorish heads of Boy Scouts and cadets, working for FBI inspectors, slaves for gadgets, claiming they got lead magnets. Running a fraud that's done cause new Moors are here. One for all for one profit like musketeers. Bay, not Tampa or Buccaneers. I strike nerves like harp or strings on those puppeteers. Pushing misconceptions as teachings and calling it facts. Swinging my scimitar tongue, not a fireman's axe. Quick to call me out as dirty, say I violate acts. If you don't nationalize, know that I annihilate blacks. Nailing through their palms and insects on beams of wood. Burn crosses on black lawns in my Moorish hood. Black Klansmen like movie from 1960. White power, not supremacy like Clayton Bigsby. Now I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces. 99 years past, Drew Ali said 50, and you wouldn't know about me, or even know what I brought for you. NOI and UNIA knew about him too. Most thought that they could bury the movement, being charged passive and abuse it. But Drew said new Moors would come with eyes open, seeing and knowing, far from hoping, far from belief in faith, master fruition. Study the laws of nature, activate intuition. One day our wheels of industry will stop, and when it starts again, Moors will be on top. Drew Ali blessed with latent power, warned you, get out the way or be ground to powder. Drew Ali didn't kill you fast, but he brought you your title and estate vast. Confusion continues to confuse, no remembrance of Maghrib Al-Aqsa by Moorish descendants. I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you a gangster? Gangster? Gangster?
Black power my ass, y'all just playing the ass, posing, frontin', no bustin', no dirty cop gun button. At least Moors right rich, trying to do something. Pen as my weapon, fezzes up and turbans, no bluffing. Don't get it twisted, sort of more get handcuffing. Judges dismiss cases, prosecutors cussing, telling my guys accused suits. Civil right leaders got conscious blacks marching on news, stopping traffic of people that didn't kill their sons and daughters. In Canaanland we call y'all bright and out of order. Nationality has me awake like a sleep disorder, while most wear blinders, my peripherals broader. For the record, I sweat in nervous court recorders in Admiralty maritime shores. Moors walk on water, engines return with no kills, no sight blurred, while they stay killing their minds and saying they learn.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you a gangster?
Your forefathers had names before they became slaves. Seems like today it's only nicknames and a name. You should be learning so pain could stop from these vermin. German Nazi Inquisitionists enslaving with sermons. Declared independence, still giving Moors reverence. Talking treaties with Muslims at Oval Office entrance. Into the entrance masses, keep them docile and passive. Killing them, corralling blacks, acting like hostile fascists. Take oaths to break them, unless it's from the Lord. They give profits, we take them and neglect ancestors. Playing Mr. Toffee, smoking a money for lunch, wanna drink from their bowl cause they spike their punch with Clorox. I'm not guessing, but I have a hunch. I mercenary punks while you face cocked and shotguns pump.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it.
If You got guns and use them on targets moving. Try KKK badge carriers in your hood cruising. I'm not promoting violence, it's a point I'm proving. Moore's methods do work, but Coon's disapproving. Khalid calling you out, but you're attacking the sheep and want to show me how good you are with your hands and feet. Never challenge a cop when they arresting your brother, but we'll wear hoods and hold skittles one after another. Acting with lethal weapons, you Mel Gibsons and Glovers. Shot in the back, I'm watching you suffer. Black standing on corners in seconds, life smothered. She forgave him for his son's death, but listen to the common exercise in his 5 sentences. To end racism, stop looking through racial lenses. Look at constitutional, not civil defenses. Stop marching, the only thing that pickets is fences.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster. 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 Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster. 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 I've never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Invasion. Watch for democracies, hypocrisy, philosophies, fear and shock factories, pseudo-court mockeries and poppy fields, blocking swinging chops without Moroccan shields, industry demonic for reversing spokes and soccer wheels, coffin fields empty, buried in the battlefields, working on the streets is walking in some cattle fields, King Alfred Gruesome, love him walking and talking. Cell phones are soothing, minds disappearing, genetic memory erasing. Don't even have a job, but they get you for tax evasion. Hot like a frying pan, crying fam, lying men. Use gadgets, spying men, no loyalty, just buying friends. No credit, debt slaves, walking over paved graves. Enslaved, enraged, marriage to death, prearranged. Mike Sufi Genie, bomb tracks bikini. Stupid niggas call my fest bucket hat when they see me, but won't ask a thing or drink the water that I bring. But when the cold comes, they kissing on the ring. They rather drink a rapper's flow from the black fountain. Piper got the dead lined up in the thousands. Confusion with illusions, infusion with sorcery. Won't give up my birthright no matter what they deal. Push the red button, I'm going home. Close my eyes, be SNL and Vendome. The fire that we put on roll, make them all shake. Islamism grand chic, not spelled like shake. Open minds, not scarred on when you enter my zone. I wouldn't call it murder when I'm trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Peter's face the Tartar, no making me a martyr. Third eye and larger, aura is my armor. When I plant a seed and farm, use the alma rap sort of like an almanac. Keep listening to sleepless hip-hop insomniac. Moorish MC, call me that acquiesce, don't fall back, just fall back. Any rapper after 95, all whack. Their flow just trickles like drops on icicles. Rappers need training wheels on their rhymesicles. Keep people's mind pickled in a lost realm. When it comes to Moorish MCs, I'm at the helm. Invasion. Trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Repeat his face the Tartar. No making me a martyr. Third eye and larger. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Invasion. Trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Repeat his face the Tartar. No making me a martyr. Third eye and larger. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Invasion.